What's good? This is Trip Rexx. I'm a rapper, producer, songwriter, and I'm here on the Anthony Rogers Show. Thanks for having me, man.
Republican Anthony Rogers has no previous political experience. Rogers, a comedian, is well known for a podcast called The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey man, this is Tommy Chong, and right now you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol Baskin, and you are listening to The Anthony Rogers Show.
Hey y'all, this is Kevin from Candlebox. You are listening to the funny man, Anthony Rogers.
Hey, my name is Alex Sulkin, writer of Ted and Family Guy, and you're listening to The Anthony Rogers Show. Lucky you.
Well, if you have a beard as majestic as mine, or even close, or you have a beard at all, honestly, it could get this good. Go to weatherbeardsupply.com and use promo code BESTSHOW and get a discount on all things beard. Just go there now. Link in the description. Thank you.
Welcome back to the greatest show in the entire universe. Today we have rapper Trip Rexx. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Thanks. I was skimming through TikTok, and your videos are great, man. Your songs are great. You got a lot of really good content, man.
Big mink coat, just like a Disney villain. My little teen need to look like Cruella de Vil. Cause I'm a pimp, might just pull up in the Coupe de Ville. Got a driver's stick, I'm the only one behind the wheel. Man, she bad like.
I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
No problem, man. Some of your songs are. The first one I found was I don't know which one that was. Hang on, let me find. I almost had to skim it back through, but it was good. It was talking about eating crab every day. It just was making me laugh, man. I don't know,
I think you're talking about Against the Wall. Is that it?
Yeah, dude. That was catchy as hell, man. And it's crazy, seeing the kind of videos and songs you're getting. Your Christmas song was really good too.
Thank you.
No problem. That was interesting, man. Yeah. How long have you been creating music and stuff?
So I've actually been making music since I was a kid, because I've been playing instruments and stuff since I was in second grade or something like that. But I started rapping when I was 13 or 14, I think. And throughout high school, I kind of just did it as a hobby or something that I like to do. And then once I was in college, I got more serious about it and started playing more shows and stuff like that. And I eventually just dropped out of school because I was I want to do this. So
no, it makes sense. How old are you now?
I'm 26 actually. So
okay.
I started really steady releasing stuff and building my fan base probably in 2017 when I was probably 20 or 21. So yeah, last 5 or so years I've been pretty consistent with it. Before that, it was more just kind of something I like to do.
That's crazy. What's some stuff you listen to that got you kind of into this?
Man, I have a really wide music palette, so I listen to all kinds of stuff. As far as hip hop goes, a lot my favorite artists, my favorite rappers and stuff are Kanye is a big influence for me for sure. I really like Future, Young Thug. Growing up Lil Wayne and like I said, Kanye. I like a lot of old school stuff too. I like Wu-Tang, I like Mos Def. And then I listen to rock music. I listen to classic rock and grunge and alt and stuff like that. And then I even listen to soul and funk and pretty much anything, man. I feel like there's good music in every genre. So there's artists in pretty much every genre that I like. I'm definitely a big hip hop head though. I really like hip hop. I feel like hip hop is great because it kind of borrows a lot from other genres and combines a lot of genres with sampling and stuff like that. So I've always gravitated towards it.
Yeah. No, I always heard growing up that musicians listen to every kind of music kind of thing, and that's a good example of what I was told as a kid when I tried to play guitar and I was untalented. Everybody told me I have the music fan idea. I have the same kind of taste I guess you have where I listen to everything, but I'm just not talented. You know what I mean? As far as music goes, man. Do you write your own beats and stuff too?
I don't do all of them. I work with a lot of different producers and stuff, but I do produce a bit myself. I used to do it more when I was first starting releasing a lot of stuff, just because I didn't have a lot of people sending me beats or anything. So I would just make my own beats so I could rap on them. And then as I kind of built up my following and stuff, producers started hitting me up and sending me beats, and it just kind of took a little bit of the weight off of me. So I definitely like to work with producers now, but I'll still try to especially if I'm in the studio with a producer or something, I'll try to be involved in the beat process and stuff like that, even if I'm not doing the whole thing by myself.
Cool, man. Like, where do you see this going and stuff? Like, I think it's about to blow up. I think you're about to get huge. Like, and you're already doing like decent. It seems like, but I think that's my opinion. But like, where do you see it going, man? Like, what are your like aspirations and stuff like with it?
Thanks, bro. I appreciate that. Those are my aspirations. I do want to like become a big artist. And like really like I love to songwrite. So like I really want to like make some hit records, whether it's like as my own artist. I do some songwriting as well for other people too. Not just hip hop. Like I like to write all kinds of music. So I just want to like make some big records that people really like. And I'd love to be like a big touring artist and you know, like be kind of like relevant in the scene. So that's definitely where I'm going towards, you know.
That's what it seems like with like your TikTok ability. Like it seems like you have to be a visual and audio entertainer, like kind of like right now. And it seems like you're kind of hitting that right now. You're getting in that groove. And like, I mean, you already have good content and stuff, but it's going to get to this point where I just feel like it's going to snowball what you're doing. It's kind of interesting.
Thank you, bro. That means a lot, honestly. That's how I've been kind of feeling. So to hear your feedback like that makes me feel good about it. So thank you.
I have a weird ability to like pick up like trends like TikTok and stuff. It's weird. I can kind of pick who's going to blow up almost. It's weird. I have like I haven't been wrong yet, which is weird. I haven't benefited from it other than like my show. You know, I get them all on my show because it's fun, but like I had a couple like this Rockstar Productions one was like these kids were just doing like these fake YouTube intros. They're like, what the fuck is up, YouTube? Have you seen that on TikTok?
Maybe I see so much stuff on TikTok.
Well, yeah, same. They had maybe like 200 views at the time. Now they're up to like 900 million. It's crazy.
Damn.
And then like same with those like Island Boys. I hit them up like a week before they blew up. And then
That's
like
crazy.
and then by the time I booked their stuff, they're too big for my show by the time.
That's crazy, dude.
Like,
well, that makes me happy. I mean, hopefully it keeps going, you know, and you know, me.
Yeah, that was the reference point I had. Kind of was like, it's like I mean, you already have thousands and stuff like just likes, and that's how many views? How many views is like 4,000 likes? I mean, that's like a lot of views, right?
Sorry, exactly. You mean on my TikTok?
Yeah, you seem like you had a lot of yeah, you got some with like hundreds of thousands of stuff. I mean, you're killing it already, kind of. I mean,
yeah, I definitely have a couple that have gone. Especially like when quarantine started, I was like making TikToks every single day, so I had a few get pretty big then. And then more recently, I've been trying to stay more consistent with it. I'm like on and off with TikTok because I'll be so involved with like my actual music and then my Instagram and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely trying to stay like consistent on TikTok because I see a lot of people are blowing up on there and just like getting a lot of attention on there. So. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like I was talking to an artist earlier. You basically have to be like your manager, your promoter, your like your producer. Luckily, I have a manager now for like the last couple of years. Since I moved out to LA. But for a while, it was just me, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a full-time job for sure. Well, yeah, it'd be a lot more work than like a '90s artist or like an '80s artist or something like that. I mean, your tactics totally would. I mean, you don't even need anybody at this point, though. I mean, you just need electronics and internet connection and like a fan base, I guess. I mean, that's where you need people, I guess. But
right, it's like a double-edged sword because like there's advantages to it, which is that you can be more independent now and make pretty much all the money off your music if you go about it right. Just because it's so accessible. But then, like you're saying, like back in the day, it used to be that you had like the whole machine behind you and you kind of just had to focus on making music. And now it's like, you got to focus on everything.
Yeah, I feel like it's easier to blow up than it is to monetize. Like I feel like it's like, because like it's easy to get like something to blow up. Then you're like, okay, what do I do? And then like you have to like, I wouldn't know what to do as an artist. It's a wild west right now. And like, I mean, you guys you're about like 10 years younger than me. I think that you guys are able to take advantage of that. Where like I'm like 35, so like in my generation, when I was your age, like there's no music industry. It was literally just a bunch of people pretending. It was like like you mean like nobody was buying it digital. Like I mean, Soldier Boy was selling ringtones, I guess. But I mean, that's about. I mean, somehow he became a millionaire of ringtones, but no one else was really doing it. I mean, you had like you had a bunch of people just playing pretend money and playing pretend rich and stuff, and like nobody was going platinum until like 2016 almost. Like
yeah, no doubt. That's funny that you brought up Soldier Boy because Soldier Boy really did like start the whole internet era of music. Like
he kills it.
He really like changed the game like in a big way. So but yeah, bro.
He's still spending like kids like ringtone money like when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like
sure,
that dude made so much
money.
And
he's going viral on TikTok and shit now. Like he's
on it.
He's done like he kind of was like for a few years it seemed like he kind of was laying low or whatever, but he's come back in a big way and it's pretty cool to see him go from like starting the whole internet wave to now like doing the TikTok side of things because that's only like the last like 3 or so years that's been big. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like even when he was like laying low, I mean, he had some of the biggest rappers like crashed on his couch, like Rich the Kid, Famous Dex. Like I mean, he had
he's put so many people on, bro. Like and he's like done shit with the Migos when they were like kind of on the come up.
Right.
just a bunch of different people. Shout out Soulja Boy for real.
Yeah, like I underestimated that guy when he first came out. I mean, like I just kind of thought this like that Superman or whatever that song was called, like
Crank
Super.
that. Yeah,
Crank that. Yeah, I was like kind of like super like critical of art at the time in my 20s, where I just thought he was kind of an idiot. And then I see like as I got older, I like see the brilliance behind what he's done and like how he's really kind of evolved in the industry. And I mean, and he's more than like a one-trick pony now. You know what I mean? Like the time I was just like, everybody kept repeating that stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't. I mean, it's like Dave Chappelle when he had that show. You know, it's like I'm Rick James, bitch. It was the same thing with like Soulja Boy. You search Soulja Boy quotes like everywhere, and it was like, oh my god, I can't do this right now. But
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
But I mean, I think he's definitely grown on me, and like he's like, I respect his hustle and stuff. It's like ICP or something like that. I don't have to like their music if like I respect the hustle, you know.
And that's the right attitude, man. That's dope that you have that attitude about, because art is subjective. You know what I mean? You can have Everyone can have any opinion, but as long as you like respect the hustle and what people are doing. Yeah, Soulja Boy. It's crazy too, because I'm pretty sure he produces like the majority of his own beats and stuff too. So he's a multi-talented dude for sure.
You're seeing a lot of that with that guy Russ. Like Russ in every song like tells you how he produces his own songs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he loves to say that.
But I mean, that's almost the new game though. Everybody's doing that. It seems like, and then rap's kind of an interesting phase. Like guys like you could really do a lot in it, man. Like I think like it's still like the Wild West. I mean, like I'm interested in seeing where you go and stuff. You got a lot. I mean, you got a lot of good stuff already, and you're killing it at streams. I mean,
thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm focused on. You know, like social media is great. It's a great tool, but obviously like my number one goal is to get the listeners, get people, you know, listening to my music. So, yeah, bro. Yeah, it's a hustle, but
no, and you're further than most already. I mean, so it's interesting to see where it goes. I mean, a lot of people I grew up with, and I mean, I try to do music too. I mean, it wasn't for me, man. Comedy was easier, you know. It was like a thing where I could just like, I'd have to set up a drum set and I could just like talk shit into a microphone. It's just easier, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, it seems like you know how to talk, and like, you know, like obviously with your podcast and stuff, that's obviously your talent. So
did a lot better than my music career, you know. Did a lot better.
But yeah, no, music is hard too. Like, you know, like talent is great. You know, having natural talent is awesome, but really, I feel like this is with anything, but I feel like it's really about like grinding and hard work. You know what I mean? Like you got to put the time in, and it takes a while. Like that's why I said like I really got my start when I was like a young kid, you know, because I started playing piano when I was a kid, and then I was playing guitar and yada yada. So that just kind of helped me, you know, develop into a musician. But it took a while before. It took a lot of songwriting too before I felt like, okay, I'm making good music. Like I'm writing good music, because I always tell people like you got to write a bunch of bullshit kind of before you like really get to the good stuff. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I wish I would have liked rap as much in my 20s. I probably would have like taken it around like you did. I was just so like stubborn with art. Like, I mean, it was a different world like 10 years ago, you know, like,
I feel you though, because I feel like everybody has a phase like that. Like it was probably when I was like in high school, I used to be really critical of like the art that I liked and stuff. And then once I got to a certain age, I was just like, started to try to open my mind up more and like realize like, oh, okay, there's actually good stuff everywhere. Like I used to hate like country music and like, now there's actually some country that I like when I give it a chance. You know what I mean? That's just one example, but
that's a great one though. I mean, I think like the personal bias towards rap and country are probably the biggest in America. I'd say like
I think so too. Yeah,
and I got really into country gospel like as I get older and stuff too.
Gospel is great too, man. There's some great gospel music. Yeah.
Like
I'm not even like super religious like that. You know what I mean? But gospel is really great.
It's a good vibe, man. I'm religious, but I mean it's a good vibe and stuff. But it's like it was just an example and reference point to like I pretty much like if I told my 16-year-old self I listened to country gospel, I'd just mock myself. You know, I'd mock my old. I guarantee I would. Like, I could just tell, and then I just kind of I still can make fun of things for fun, but I think I can appreciate more things now. I think that comes with age. Like, and you're at the beginning of that kind of like you probably matured faster if you were already out of it by high school, I think. But but I was just saying, I think that's just like the rounds of going and stuff. Like, and like, where did you? I wanted to ask you, where did you come up with your name, or how did you come up with your name? Rather, is probably the right context.
So. I definitely came up with the Rexx first. I knew I wanted to like have like Rexx in my name. It's funny because like as a kid, I was like super obsessed with dinosaurs for some reason. I mean,
was
that's
wondering if it was T-Rex.
Yeah, that's probably common for like kids, but I used to like love dinosaurs and like The Land Before Time and Jurassic Park and like all this shit, right? So I just always like had that, and I think when I was trying to come up with my rap name, I was like, Rexx sounds cool. Like, let me try to work that in somewhere. And then I think it was my dad actually who was like, what about Trip Rex, like T-Rex? And I was like, that's fucking cool. Like, hell yeah. And then it's funny because it ended up this was when I was like 15 or 16, I think, when I came up with the name, but it ended up kind of just like working out really well. Cause like when I got a little older, I started like kind of experimenting with psychedelics and shit a bit. So that like was a big part of just my like development and like growing into who I am, and it just worked well with the name. So it just like was kind of serendipitous.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I was wondering if it had referenced like T-Rex kind of. That's kind of what I thought when I first read it, kind of like a. And I like that. What do you call your genre? Like psychedelic trap or something? Is that what you were saying on there?
Yeah, that's usually what I like to call it.
I like that.
I definitely take a lot of influence from psychedelic stuff. I don't think I even mentioned that. I really like psychedelic music. I know that kind of spans a couple genres, but
no, me too, man.
And
like
I feel
Doors
like
were like my favorite band as a kid. Like the Doors are like one of my.
And I love the Doors, dude.
They're like a dark kind of trippy version, you know, like
totally,
they're like
totally.
I like that. Yeah, and like the Beach Boys are like a lighter version of that, you know. Like
I love the Beach Boys too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy. I mean, they did music right. I mean, it makes sense. Like, and I love that I was waiting for this point in rap almost. I think a guy like you could probably take it to that point because I mean, it's not really like mainstream yet. I would argue. I mean, there's been mainstream songs that have been. There's mainstream artists that have been, but like, it's not like this huge like movement like there was in like the '60s when like rock went from like I Wanna Hold Your Hand and cheesy bullshit to like. I mean, I still like it, but cheesy compared to. Compared to as they went to their adult, when rock went to like it's like early adult years almost as
like when the Beatles pre 65 and post 65.
Perfect example, yeah, perfect example. Totally. And I've been waiting for like rap to kind of go that way where it has like real lyrics and like some guys do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying like as like a whole, like to where it's just like this huge movement of like it's like I think psychedelics make you more inward and thoughtful and what we'd call deep, I guess, the perception of deep at least. Versus like I mean like club bangers or whatever the fuck people are doing, you know. I think that I've been waiting for rap to go that way. I've almost been waiting like 10 years. I feel like I've been waiting for it to kind of go that way. And I think like it's more ready now than it was 10 years ago for that, you know.
Yeah, I definitely have heard like some other artists do some psychedelic stuff.
They've done it, yeah.
Yeah, like Travis Scott has like talked about psychedelics in a couple of his songs. I've noticed like Future sometimes does it too, but definitely like there's no artist I would say like, oh, that's like a psychedelic rap artist like who's big right now.
Yeah, it's not a movement yet, but it could be. I mean, this is the natural progression of music. I mean, rap's still in its infancy. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. There's a group actually. They're like I don't even listen to them that much anymore, but they definitely kind of influenced like me going into that psychedelic realm. They're called the Flatbridge Zombies. I don't know if you ever heard them.
I've heard them, not familiar. I've heard of the name, I think.
Yeah, they do like pretty psychedelic stuff. They've been around for a minute now, but they never got like huge where they would have like, you know, radio hits and stuff, but they're kind of like a cult following type group.
Early Eminem was like that with his camera angles and his lyrics and stuff. Like, I mean, the real Slim Shady, like lyrically and video wise is almost like that. I mean, it was a Dre beat. I mean, when you heard it, but it was like, but I mean, the attitude of it kind of seemed like the angles of camera he was doing and stuff, like really like seemed like that, you know?
Yeah, I would say actually like in the 90s almost like there was some stuff like that happening. And then like hip hop really went through its like club phase, I feel like in the early 2000s, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it became like really about like just making hits and stuff, which I love music like that too, you know what I mean?
It's
great to just like just vibe to some stuff.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's almost like a little bit of like a resurgence in you know, like maybe more lyrical stuff, like because obviously like in the 90s like rap was very lyrical and then it, like I said, it got a little more like club and radio geared towards, at least from a mainstream perspective. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. I'm glad you peeped that because it's definitely like what I'm going for, you know.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing where it goes, man. I think like people had more time. They have more time to be thoughtful now with like the pandemic and stuff. I think like I mean, just looking at like as a slowdown version of like, I mean, look at the fast food industry, for example. Like, I mean, these people aren't working past 9 anymore because they realize it's not worth it. Like, you mean, like they're finally realizing it's not worth it. Like, I think artists have realized that. Artists are always like the first to realize that like a job's not worth it. And then now you're starting to see like other people. They're like, man, maybe I should go to like the community college or like start a company or like whatever it is for them. You know, maybe I should be a dentist. You know, you're really seeing this like resurgence of like realizing that life's short, you know, and like not just like grinding away in a cubicle for 30 years or like whatever example, you know, whatever it is for other people. That's what it is in Missouri. But I mean, but whatever it is for like other people, the factory or the, you know, it's like there's nothing wrong with these jobs. It's just like there's way more to life than this is what we're finding out, you know.
Totally, man. I definitely have noticed that too. I feel like more people are starting to kind of like realize that, and that's a big part of what I want to do with my music is just like empower people to like do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like I said, I dropped out of college and then I worked jobs for a little bit, you know, but once I like really was like the music really started going, I kind of have just been like not working a job for a minute, whether like I just make more money off music or doing like random odd job type shit, you know, but I don't really like the whole 9 to 5 thing. So yeah, I definitely think I'm glad that more people are coming around to that.
Yeah. I think with automation, it's gonna just be natural. The more people are just gonna create art and stuff. I think it's gonna. And then you have like the NFT market now, putting more emphasis on like art and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of stuff happening. Like, and this is like the beginning of Web 3.0, as everybody's saying. You know, so this is like only the beginning. I mean, this podcast is gonna be in the metaverse one day. You know, we're gonna be like, I'm gonna be a gorilla, and you're gonna be a goldfish, and we're gonna be like talking about music or something. You know, it's like, and that's how all the meetings are gonna go supposedly. And so, I mean, this is what's predicted, I guess. I haven't seen the future, but I mean, this is what everybody's saying right now.
Yeah, it feels like it's like a kind of a renaissance happening right now. You know what I mean? Like a birth in tech, like type shit.
Yeah, it's a silver lining in like this like terrible era. Because people are just tired of darkness and being sad and scared now. They're just like I mean, you're gonna see a lot of different stuff. I mean, like before this whole thing, when life got really serious, you had a lot of like insult comedy and a lot of stuff like that when life was too easy. You know, you had a lot of this like. It's like I don't know, almost like sinister vibe and dark humor thing going. But now, I mean, you still have that, but it's evolved. But now you have like this. I mean, all this art's going to come out, man. It was being made during the pandemic. I mean, you're gonna have all this art coming out. It's like, I mean, that's what happened after the bubonic plague was the Renaissance, man. And I think our trends are happening faster these days now. So it's not 1,000 years of the Dark Ages first. You know, it's like,
that's a good point. I never even thought about that, like the bubonic plague and then the Renaissance. That's crazy. Yeah,
you had a bunch of people realize what life was worth and like have the free time. I mean,
right. And I mean, like just with the internet and with technology, like we're so much more empowered to make art. Like with music, you know, it's more accessible than ever now. Like you kind of were even saying, like anybody can make music now. You know what I mean? It used to be you had to like really go to the studio and like have like other musicians even, because you know it was much harder to like make music by yourself. You know, before technology. And now it's like you can do everything yourself if you want, like Russ.
Like Russ tells us in every song.
Right.
I actually like Russ. I just think it's funny.
No, I like Russ too. He's got some good music. Shout out Russ.
No, he's really good. He tells me in every song.
Hey, how are you doing? Without sponsors like Delta Extracts, this show, well, wouldn't exist. They have these 2-gram vape pens that basically it's like smoking weed or marijuana or whatever without the federal crime because it's legal. So a little bit of the paranoia goes away. Good product, Delta Extracts. Check out their link in the description and buy some stuff, support the sponsors.
Yeah, he's got a healthy amount of confidence, which is good.
I love it. I just like talking shit too. I like his flute song and shit. He's got some good songs, but but no, that's the example of what you're saying. I mean, in his interviews, he'll be like talking about how he realized the music industry was ran by 6 dudes, so he just met those 6 dudes. Like that's how he dumbed it down. You know, it's like
he gives out so much good game, bro. Like I watch his interviews a lot, like just on TikTok or wherever. Like I'll see clips of him. And he really, like, as far as musicians go, like he gives a lot of good game as far as like what you should do to make sure you're making the most money you can be making and make sure you're like connecting with the right people and whatever. I like that he's like, you know, he doesn't hoard his information or anything. He like sharing it with everybody.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of his success. I mean that's the kind of energy you create. If you're giving, I mean, just even if you're selfish, you should be giving. It's like weird, you know. It's like if you want, it's sad but if you want reward, I mean, you have to give to get. You know, it's weird. It's just weird how energy works. I mean,
no, it's like you got it. What comes back, you know, what you give out comes back to you. So.
No, you're right. Yeah, and even if it's out of selfishness, I wouldn't advise that. But I'm just saying, like even like worst case, like somebody's just selfish, doesn't want to be good, doesn't even matter. But being
like
good,
the most selfish thing you can do is be selfless. Like, you know.
Yeah, like really though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like truthfully,
I agree with that. I feel that.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Like, no, I'm just hyped to like have people like you on the show, man. Like, what you got some songs dropping or anything like new kind of happening or like what's going like?
Yeah, I do actually. I have a song dropping on Friday, so. It's coming out on all platforms on Friday. I haven't even like announced this yet, but I'll announce it here on the podcast. But I'm having a visual drop the night before for that song too. So it's gonna be. I'm really excited about it. It's funny that you brought up the metaverse because it's like it's my first video where we shot it all on a green screen and I'm like basically in like a whole different world. So
that's rad, man.
It kind of ties into that, and I'm really hype about it. I think the song is dope. I think the idea for the visual and everything is dope. I think it could be big. So crossing my fingers that it's gonna maybe you'll be right and I blow up like right after this podcast.
No, I see it, man. I can kind of like see like trends and energy and stuff, and I see you getting really big, man. If you stick with this and like and I sound like a parent or something, but I mean I literally feel that though. It's like I'm like if you just keep trying hard, but no, I feel that though. I kind of can see what trends are doing, and like where are you from originally? Are you from LA originally? Or you moved there? Or?
So I was born in Toronto, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm Canadian, but I've actually moved around kind of a lot growing up. So like I lived in the Bay for a little bit where my brother was born, and then we lived in like Connecticut right outside New York City for a while, and then I moved to Phoenix when I was like freshman in high school or sophomore in high school, and that's where I graduated high school. Yeah, and then I also lived in Denver for a little bit after that, but now I'm in LA. So.
Cool. No, that makes sense because, like, I mean, I know LA is mostly transplants, and then like you're very articulate, and that's not something I hear from people from LA very often. Not a rude way, but I mean, just I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean it like on a matter of fact way.
I appreciate it.
You're way more articulate than the rest of your city. Like,
well, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment for sure.
No problem. Yeah, it was. But and then I mean, it's crazy to think that, like, I mean, I'm in literally Missouri, and I'm just like skimming on my couch, like not necessarily this couch, but on the couch, just like skimming through stuff, and I find your music, and then like now it's a podcast. It's like
that's what's crazy about TikTok, man. Like that's what I like about it is that other social media like sites are kind of like you don't have the visibility that you have on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like anybody, like I've seen shit on TikTok that has like one like and just got posted, and it's from a nobody. You know what I mean? But it's like. They have the potential to reach everybody just because of the way the app works. You know what I mean?
No, I love that, and like I can always kind of see what's gonna blow up. It's weird, like I've seen probably like so many things just blow up from like I'd call it out. I'm like, this is gonna be huge, and like it happens faster than I think it is a lot of times, which is weird.
Right.
Because like I mean that's the nature of TikTok. I mean that's the most viewed website right now.
Yeah, I believe it because
it passed Google, like a website.
Google?
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me. It's like people go to Google just for searches and like just for like everyday use.
Yeah,
TikTok's for like entertainment. It's like one thing, I mean, well, not necessarily. Some people watch. I mean, it depends on how you search it and what you use it for, I guess.
Right.
But I mean, like and like what you like, I guess adjust the algorithm is. But I mean, it's just like that's crazy that it passed Google to me. I mean, I never thought I'd see that.
I never would have thought that.
Me neither, and I thought it would take longer for companies like Google to get past that. Because I knew they're internet pioneers, but I didn't know, and I know that eventually, like, what's too big to handle is going to, like, some new guy in his garage or basement is going to steamroll these old companies. Because, like, I mean, that's what it is every generation, man. It's just like that's what Microsoft did to IBM. That's what, like, I mean, Facebook did to Microsoft. Kind of just they keep building on each other, without the IBM computer, there wouldn't be an operating system. Without the operating system, there would be Facebook. Without Facebook, there wouldn't be whatever's next. I mean. It's just like kind of like, and I think people think Facebook's old, but it's still used. It's like just an example.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
It's just weird, and like that's where all my high school friends are. If I ever want to, I promote to just them. If I want to tell them just something about my podcast, like they're all right there.
Right. Yeah. It's funny how like Facebook. It was weird. Like when I was in high school and stuff, like Facebook was super big amongst like my generation, like kids my age, and then it almost like became something that older people use now. You know what I mean? Like
now I'm the older people somehow. Yeah, now I'm the older.
Not even you, because you're in your 30s, so you're not.
Still though, I mean that's old for like social media. I feel like if I wasn't working in entertainment, I would never have social media. Probably, I'm too old. None of my friends do my age. Like they don't look at. I mean, I'm an outlier as far as where I'm from. I mean, in LA, it's probably not that it's not that uncommon for 30-year-olds to have social media still and stuff. But here, I mean, I'm probably one of the few people my age with Instagram, with like TikTok. I feel like a grandparent typing on a computer or something. Almost like just. I mean, it's just an outlier. It's like it's not something that happens all the time. With people that aren't in entertainment, don't really use it unless they're young.
No, I feel you. I even like be thinking sometimes like I don't even like if I wasn't a musician, I wouldn't even be on here because like social media can sometimes like be a distraction and just like a bunch of like negative energy sometimes. You know what I mean? Depending on which app you're on, like. Yeah. But it's like any tool, it's got, you can use it and you can abuse it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, if you ever want to argue politics, like Facebook's the app for you. It's like if you want to see how no one agrees on anything, like
that's facts, bro. People argue so much on Facebook. That's all I see when I get on there. And Twitter too. I feel like people are just like talking shit all the time on Twitter.
I already got banned. I can't use Twitter anymore. I already got banned from there for like it catches me in like that with that. You're saying like it's just such darkness and like somebody will say one fucked up thing and I'll just go off on them in like a paragraph and then I'm in it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like what am I really doing?
Literally, that's why like on those apps and stuff, like I'll post my stuff and I try not to like do anything else unless it's like positive, you know what I mean? Unless I'm like bigging somebody up and like
the world needs that. No, the world needs that right now. We need to get past this whole insult everybody, block everybody kind of mentality.
I agree because I feel like social media and the internet, you know, I just said a bunch of good stuff about it, but it's also put like walls up between us a little more to where like people feel more comfortable talking some shit that they wouldn't talk in person, you know what I mean? And they also just like, I feel like it dehumanizes other people. So like when you're interacting with somebody on the internet that you've never met in real life, it's kind of like, this person's not real, you know what I mean? So like people will just say whatever. And then like, you would never have that conversation in person, you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, it's like how we perceive war almost. It's like the enemy is always insane and crazy, and we're the heroes. And it's almost individualized through social media at this point. It's like to where like, yeah, no, it's crazy, and like create all these bubbles, man. Like where everybody's just wrong, you know. It's like that. No one's like, I haven't met anyone right in a long time, you know. And everybody just says insane stuff. I mean, depending, no matter what they're doing, left or right or whatever, it's like both sides are wrong, and like everybody sounds like an idiot, you know. It's like weird.
Yeah, I feel you. People have gotten like really sucked into all that, like just like fighting about politics and like everything, like you're saying, you know what I mean? It's definitely, and then obviously the pandemic fed into it a lot too, you know, so it's crazy.
Well, yeah, and every side of that even. I mean, you got people that like swear by masks, people that don't swear by masks. I mean, both are that's stupid, really.
I think it's crazy how politicized it even got. It's like, what does this have to even do with politics? Like, we're talking about healthcare, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think social media did that. I think it created a divide, like you said, like a huge rift in people just for clicks. I mean, I think like what I thought as a promoter, like in the early days, is like, yeah, I'm gonna put out like a meme that makes everybody argue, and then that gets more traction, and then blah blah blah. But then now it's gone to such a point where that's all they're doing. Is like they're making people argue for the traction, and they're not caring about the results or seeing where this is going.
Because they notice that like when people are passionate or angry, like and want to argue about stuff, like it gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of you know, it's like clickbait, you know, and that's how a lot of like the internet works. Is like, how do I get as much attention as possible? You even see it in the music industry now. Like I feel like it's become really popular to kind of like just do stuff that will get you a lot of attention, whether it makes you look good or bad. Like, you know what I mean?
Like the tattoos and like all that stuff. I think
I mean, like 6ix9ine was like the kind of like the peak of that, right? Like he like just realized like, oh, if I just dye my hair crazy colors and get a bunch of tattoos and you know, yada yada, like he was able to attract a ton of attention to himself, and a lot of people hated him, or, you know, some people liked him, but it kept his buzz going, you know what I mean? So
and like psychologically speaking, we're probably rewarding mental illness, to be honest. Like, I mean, and then like and not that there's anything really necessarily wrong with that, really, but I just like I just think that's what's happening. And I think we're starting to see the results from this, like this argue based marketing tactics. And like 6ix9ine was like your generation's Riff Raff. Like we had Riff Raff who just said like,
I know Riff Raff, yeah. I used to listen to Riff Raff.
yeah, he's the same guy. He just had like an MTV tattoo.
He did the same. He really did the same thing. Like I think he even kind of said himself, like he just was trying to do whatever to get on, and so he like got like the MTV tattoos and the BET and whatever, and he was going on
smart
shows. I'm sure he is. Like a lot of these guys are smarter than they seem. You know what I mean? Like
they have to be.
They know what they're doing. They're like 6ix9ine. You can say what you want about him. I personally am not like a fan of his or anything like that, but I think he's a marketing genius. It seems like
sure.
He knows how to market himself. I watched that. They did a documentary about him, and it was pretty interesting. Like how he like knew exactly how to like keep getting more and more attention on his music. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, as a musician, it's like you gotta kind of weigh the pros and cons of how you're gonna go about that. But obviously, you know, he accomplished what he set out to accomplish. It seems like so.
Sure, yeah, he's like that'd be like another like ICP. It's like I don't necessarily like the music, but I respect the hustle. It's like, I mean, I'm a 35-year-old in the middle of the United States. I've heard of this guy, so I mean, he's definitely good at marketing. You know, my circles have never crossed this guy, and I know who he is. Like, you mean it's just that. I mean, I definitely think it's smart as far as like if that being the goal. But I mean, a lot of these guys, I feel like they just want to be Lil Wayne. I mean, like they do the face tattoos, they do the hair, they do the piercings and stuff. I mean, I think everybody grew up on Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was the dopest man alive in 2008, so everybody's mimicking me. 2008 Lil Wayne. I mean,
he really influenced like the current culture of like not even like he definitely influenced the music in hip hop right now, but he really influenced like the aesthetics and like just the culture of how, you know, people present themselves and stuff like that. Like after him, like you're saying, like everybody. Like it used to be that only like actual gangbangers and shit would have face tattoos, and now it's like everybody has them who's a rapper, you know what I mean? And like or like even like even dreadlocks. Like I remember like when he had dreadlocks, like not a lot of rappers had dreadlocks really back then, and now like it seems like all of them do. You know what I mean? So it's like he definitely influenced even and like the drug scene in rap too. Like like lean and getting popular. I don't know if you know what that is. Yeah. So like he's a very influential figure, and I grew up on Lil Wayne. Like I'm sure you know that like back in, like you said, back in like 2008 2010, like he was
there's
like
nobody cooler than him.
Yeah.
There's nobody. Yeah, he was crazy, and he had more. I mean, gold records than Elvis. I mean, but he also did it from features and stuff, which is an interesting argument. But I mean, even 2020, like Trump pardoned him, man. Like, I mean, he had a Republican, he had a Republican billionaire pardon him, man. That's fucking hilarious, dude. Like, I mean, the dude still kills it. And I think he's like Drake's ghostwriter and Nicki Minaj's ghostwriter personally. Everyone always argued that Drake had a ghostwriter. I think it's Wayne because the lyrics sound the same.
I mean, he put both of them on, so
listen to their lyrics. Like I look at their lyrics sometimes. I'm not saying every song, but a lot of songs you can hear the Lil Wayne flow. It's like with that one guy who wrote the Monkey songs, like Neil Diamond. Like if you listen to like a Neil Diamond song and a Monkey song, it's like the same song. It's like the same thing like Wayne and Drake. Like you can break them down and be like, oh, the way it was only Lil Wayne would say shit a certain way. And you almost hear it in Drake songs and shit sometimes.
I mean, I'm sure Drake is I admitted it. Like even if he's not writing for him, I just mean Drake has admitted that Wayne was like a huge influence on his whole style.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I'm just seeing it, and like no, it's crazy. I mean, like I wonder where rap's going, and like Lil Wayne probably has like 5 more comebacks before he dies. It's like who knows?
He's still pretty damn relevant, especially considering like how long he's been around for, and like you said, like he had so many hit records, like especially in that like late 2000s, early 2010s kind of period. Like he was number one, like for sure in the whole rap scene, and he's still pretty relevant, like I said. So
yeah, I think he's kind of underrated right now because people got a little burnt out on him, but he'll be back. It's like those cycles, like Jay-Z's done that a million times, Kanye's done it a million times, like all the top guys have done it.
Kanye has stayed so relevant. Like I think it's impressive how like long Kanye has been like one of the most relevant hip hop artists. Like even the fact that like this past year, like he dropped Donda, and he was competing with Drake, and Drake is obviously like probably the biggest artist in rap, like maybe ever. Like I don't know, as far as just like
he's pretty big, yeah.
As far as just people knowing him and him like having hit records, you know what I mean? So
yeah, he's like a Frank Sinatra or something. He's like our generation's like Frank Sinatra or something. Almost.
Yeah, like he really is like I think he won like Artist of the Decade or whatever. From
Drake. No, he's clean. That's why it sells more records. It's like so those guys that don't like cuss or anything like. I mean, maybe he cusses, but it's not. He can get away with it anyway. It's like a lot of these guys cuss and like they're just outlawed forever. But like this guy, like
he definitely helped make rap. I feel like more like digestible for the mainstream and like for like white suburban people, like what I mean, like he's definitely just big as an artist in general, not just as a rapper, like what I mean. He's one of the biggest artists ever, like probably.
No, for sure. When we were talking, I was like thinking about how I just call this YouTube video 2 white guys talk about rap. I was just like thinking about like
that's what it is, literally.
It basically is. No, it's funny, man. Funny. Yeah. But I feel like I could talk to a guy like you for like 9 more hours. But throw out some links and stuff before we lose people. It's like I think we're like leave on top.
Yeah, no doubt. All my social media is literally just Trip Rexx. It's TRIPREXX. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Apple Music. You can find me on YouTube. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm pretty much like on any social media platform. You can find me under that handle. And like I said, I got a new song that's gonna be dropping on Friday. It's called Blues Clues. I don't want to give away too much about the video and stuff, but it's gonna be sick. I'm really excited for it. And yeah, man, like thank you for having me. This was really cool, and I'm glad that you like took notice of my music, and it means a lot that you think that I'm headed in the right direction. So, dude,
for sure, I feel the same way. A guy like you jump on this show, man. So it's mutual, man. I appreciate taking the time to be on here and stuff, dude. Like it's awesome.
Of course, man. Yeah, I'm happy to.